Yes, I just wanted to comment on this. I was a little inspired maybe to speak about something else. I'll just read this, and you can sort of try to trace the process here. There's a process. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment. This is psychology. You have something in the mind, thinking, and as soon as you contemplate it, you start, seeing ideas. Yeah, it could be used in this way, I could do like that. There's an attachment. That means that already you've built up this. If you don't get it now, then you will feel some morose. I had some, your expectations, we may say, are starting. Okay? While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment comes lust. Lust means desire. The desire, it starts with yes, and I'm starting to get some expectations, now I want it. Right? It can be anything. This is just the principle. And then from lust comes anger. Kama, Asia, Kroda. Kroda means anger, Asia. From lust comes anger. So, why? Because there is an element of frustration, like we spoke about. We act out of our elements, and such acts are doomed to be frustrating. This ananda which we are seeking, the bliss, which is the inherent part of the spirit soul, Sat Chit Ananda. Soul is Sat Chit Ananda. Ananda. Always blissful, actually. But in this material world, there is no amount of material acquisitions can satisfy true Ananda. This is our frustration. Even death. Death is the end to everything. You may hoard trillions of dollars. Ask Rockefeller. Huh? How many trillions? Many. Even this, there's this, did you know that? The People's Health Institute, Folkehelseinstituttet, it is funded by the Rockefeller Foundation. Did you know that? They have a lot of money. Anyway, even, he dies, okay? Can he bring some money with him? No. The fancy tailor-made dress stitched in London, can he bring it? No. You come as you are, and you die as you are. Right? Alone and naked. Is it true? So it goes on. That's why from lust comes anger. Anger means not necessarily, but the frustration. And when frustration builds up, then let's say in a relationship you get the quarrels or the arguments, different things. Because the frustration is there, we can't help it. And then the next one. From anger, complete delusion arises. So anger, it's also said in English, anger clouds your judgment. Yes? Anyone has experience of this? Olga has. Yes. And you were nodding.
Yeah, you said that before I was nodding.
Oh, I knew.
But
you
yes,
were.
I have.
Yes, because it clouds
Do I
the.
look more angry than everyone else?
No, but it clouds the judgment. You don't make decisions. If you're in that mood to make decisions, is not recommended. So from anger comes delusion. It means cloud. The cloud. You don't see things clearly. And what comes from delusion? Bewilderment of memory. In this delusion, you forget which is which, and you act, and it's a mistake. And because when memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. This is the cloud. It encompasses the intelligence. And without intelligence, we go down. We go down meaning that we degrade ourselves. When we could act in an uplifting way for ourselves, for society at large, for everyone, our family, our children, then through this process we degrade. Degrade means we could do so much more. We could, we could have so much more. And it's natural. It's there for us to just grab. But because of this contemplating the objects of the senses, it's the propensity. It's the propensity of, it's called in the Vedas, it is said, I and mine. What is that? Mama. I don't know. Anyway, I and mine. This is the center. Let's just speak so philosophically. Let's say if everyone was a center. Okay? You have a circle of interest, right? This is the center. And if everyone was a sphere of center, everywhere, if you like together we are now, everywhere, the lines will intersect. Conflict. There will be conflict. Interests against interests. My interest, your interest. Right? But if everyone was aligned with Krishna, then the circles are concentric, with Krishna in the center, and there is harmony. It's basic logic, actually. We should consider this. And the first thought that comes into the mind is that, I may somehow, if I try to serve Krishna, do something for Krishna. We sing, we cook in the kitchen, then we bring it, maybe just in front of a picture of Krishna, or here we have the deities, we bring in front of the deities, and you say, okay, and we don't taste. It's the science. You don't taste while cooking, and then maybe in the beginning you're not so expert, but I like putting the salt. If you're not tasting, how will you put? It's a science. It comes. Anyway, so you put it. You ask Krishna, okay, now Krishna, you please eat first, and like an offering, and then we take. We're not the center, and we can enjoy it. It's very healthy. Yes. So with Krishna in the center, everything is concentric. It means circular. No conflicts of the borders, on the borders. Just imagine, if everyone had Krishna in the center. Iraq, Iran, Israel, and Palestine. I and mine. Isn't it? We are America. You are something else. Everyone is the same. Everyone is a spirit soul. And caste, creed, color, it's actually very superficial. The ones who make their judgments based on this, they are very superficial. And we can see also in our own lives, if we're a little honest, that this is the degradation of society. If society would follow this simple rule of the concentric circles, Krishna in the middle, and the name Krishna is not so important actually. Allah, Yehovah, Buddha, doesn't really matter. What matters is that we connect with the Supreme through yoga. Yoga means to link. And any activity of life will do. Our thoughts. It's just a matter of hitting the switch, you know what I mean? It's about our perception, it's about our... more than anything, it's about our daily lives, our routines. When we get up in the morning, what is our focus? It can easily be changed. Anyone can do it, even a child. And this place is dedicated to sort of this kind of information. So sometimes we are a little more philosophic, or we must not deviate from the truth. This place is dedicated to that. So sometimes we may speak unpalatable words for some ears, and some people, they may go away, but those who stay, they are benefited. Okay. I had planned to say something else, but somehow it just came out. Olga, you have some comment?
I'm thinking, so can you have an example of that development from lust to anger in the daily life?
Okay. Okay. I mean, simple example, just to give it visualize. Okay? So, I wake up in the morning, and because I have a habit of being an enjoyer, I'm always thinking, I want something nice for myself. So I'm thinking, samosa, yes, for breakfast, deep fried in ghee. And I have experience of samosas from before. I can make. My wife also makes. So I'm starting to, you can have them with potatoes and peas, maybe with cauliflower. But you can have spinach and paneer samosa. These are the best. Now I'm attached. I want it. It's just too delicious. Okay? And I come into the kitchen, my wife has cooked breakfast, and it's porridge. Oat porridge. And it's not so much that my wife did a mistake. No, she's thinking about health. Right? But through my attachment, I become, I have built up some expectations, the taste, the smell, how it is very fatty and nice. You get these, the handles, the love handles. Right? So my desire is frustrated, and I may accept then and there, but frustration is like an energy. We have the material elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are the gross. But there are also other elements, more subtle, energy. Element means energy. Right? Mind. Elements we can see. There is liquids, fire. What is the mind? Can we see it? Can you see a thought, an idea? It's invisible, but it's there. There's a whole science dedicated to this, psychology, right? It's dedicated to these elements. Higher than mind is intelligence. Because some say, you can measure it, IQ. You do some form, right? Very high IQ, very intelligent. But there's different intelligence. What about social intelligence? Let's say you have a 150 IQ, 250 IQ, I don't know. Big. You know everything. You're good with the computer, playing chess maybe. But how are you in your interactions? Sweet and loving, or maybe a little, there's different levels, right? And then above that is the false ego. Now the false ego, it is our identification. This is also an energy, as it is described. So that's why I'm saying that. So then my frustration, it is stored in the mind. It's an energy, and it will come out. Maybe not in the kitchen. I love my wife, so I somehow, okay, porridge. Okay, thank you. I eat. I know it's good for health. But then later, let's say in a situation where there is maybe a little more stress. We're running for the subway. We forgot to pick up something at the shop. Then it comes out.
So sorry.
No, but I think anyway, if you before you ask your wife, can you make samosa, and you wait, and she not make, then you can get angry. You never hear what I ask, and that anger coming to life.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we can't have any expectations in our life.
No, I'm just saying that because, no, expectations are completely natural. Of course. But I'm just saying that the object of the expectation is my enjoyment. That is what creates the frustration. Let's say I wake up in the morning, paneer and spinach samosas. Yes, I will make them. I get up early, I make the dough, I make the paneer, fry the spinach, turmeric, and what will I use? I will use some ginger, chili, jeera, different things, right? Mix it, put it in the dough, and then I will go upstairs. And for my wife, when she comes out and is dressed, I will present smoking hot samosas, and I will offer her. I made samosa. Today is not porridge. Today is samosas. Here you go. Take one. I will also enjoy samosas. No problem.
So the difference is between if you expect something, then you put your amount of work into it and offer it to God, or you expect something other to give to you because you expect it. That's different.
Yes.
And the first expectation, the ego expectation is, I want, therefore you have to give to me.
Yes.
Is the one that
I want, at all costs, I want.
Yeah.
And it's a very strong identification. It goes even into the minute details. If we examine our lives, we can see it, if we're honest. It's in everything. This false ego. Ego means identification. This false identification with actually this lump of flesh and bones as sort of an instrument for enjoyment. And another thing we could say is that if we take, everything is there. Everything is provided. Vegetables, the grains which are ground into flour, the cow gives milk, and it becomes, you can make into ghee, all these things. But if we take for ourselves, we're stealing. We're actually stealing. What we should do is we should take it, and then it comes from somewhere. It has a source. Like we say, even the material energy has a spiritual origin. And the origin is God, Krishna, is the source. You have like, let's say, for example now, although it may not be the perfect day to use this analogy, but let's say outside now is light. Okay. And light is nice, we can see everything. What is light? Light is the rays of the sun. Right? And they come from somewhere, they come from this planet, which shines and gives light to the whole universe. Right? So there's a source. Okay, light is there, fine. But if we contemplate a little bit, it actually has a source. And if we just tap into the source and take for ourselves, it's selfish. But if we offer back to this, okay, then the analogy of the sun might not work. But if we offer back to the source, that's why I'm saying that there's harmony. And there's gratitude. Right? I take something, and enjoying is not a problem. We can enjoy. Anando meo biasat. It's our nature to enjoy. But how we enjoy, that is the essence. That is what Krishna sort of wants to emphasize. So we can see that either we can go from this Rajaguna, what's it called? Mode of passion. This is actually the basic. What does Rajaguna, what does mode of passion mean? Passion, what does it mean? It means activity. We are active. Okay. Mode of passion is okay. Activity is okay. We should act. We must act. We are not inert. We're not stones. Right? So then there's actually basically two choices. You act for your own self-interest, then it goes to the mode of ignorance, and frustration is the result. Or you act in an unselfish manner. You offer back to the source in gratitude, And then there's goodness. Sattva. Right? Sattva, Rajas, Tama. And from the platform of Sattva going from goodness, all these things, satisfaction, gratitude, all these qualities. From there, to go from there and develop and to inquire into the spiritual nature of our being, to cultivate a spiritual process is easy. To do it from Tama, from the mode of ignorance, is very difficult. There is frustration, anger, bewilderment, memory is lost, intelligence is covered. How can you do it? It's very difficult. So it's actually very scientific. Krishna is giving, I can't imagine any psychologist reading these two verses. You could write a PhD thesis on this. You know? How is a step-by-step thing. So what can we do in our daily life? We can be a little on guard about what we contemplate. It starts with contemplation. So we can be a little on guard and be a little reflective, a little philosophical, or at least a little reflective about our contemplations. This is within our control, what we contemplate. And it's a cultivation. It's said that spiritual life is a process. So the more you cultivate, it's like, this in America, Central America, not Central America, they call it the United States, but this, right? There used to be a tribe, the Navajo, they call them Indians, but Columbus, he was looking for India, and he wanted to find a shortcut. Everyone was going, at that time there was no Suez Canal, so he went around Africa. He had to go to India, and everyone in India was the spices, the gold. Everyone wanted the gold. What are they called? These guys, the guy from Portugal. All these guys, yes, they all went right to India. Anyway, so he decided, no, there must be a shortcut. I'll go the other way and come around on backside, and yay, I'll be the winner. But he didn't realize that there was a whole continent in the middle of it. So when he came there, he thought he reached India. So he said, so he called them Indians. Yeah, that's why we call them. Isn't it right? We say Aztec Indians. It's a little weird. Anyway, so there's this, or was, I guess there's a few left, but not like before. This Navajo, and they have a saying that there are two wolves in our heart, and they're fighting constantly. The good wolf and the bad wolf. Who will win?
The one you feed the most.
The one you feed will win. It's all about your contemplation. Right? If you starve one dog, he becomes weak. Of course, in the end, in the beginning, there may be a fierce fight, But as he becomes weaker and weaker, the other dog, he gets the upper hand. Finished. So it starts from somewhere, and that takes a little courage, it takes some enthusiasm, it takes some shraddha, right, Alina? It takes some faith in the beginning. You must have some faith. Prabhupada, he came, we have another book, the Lilamrita, which is the life story of Srila Prabhupada. And you read this, it's quite inspiring how he was endeavoring to somehow bring this, broadcast this great news around the world. So it starts with faith, but as faith sort of builds up, it gets stronger. The good dog becomes more strong, bad dog more weak, and then it's just a matter of time. Yeah. the Navajo Indians, they had deeply understood this, no doubt. Yes, the two wolves. We can remember sometimes, Ow! Okay. I think we said enough. 6 o'clock. So, any questions or comments? What do you think? It's okay?
No, it was very happy to be here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. It's very nice. You're staying also?
Yeah.
Oh, just moved or?
3 years.
3 years. Oh, nice. So you're like
Living just nearby.
oh, also nearby. Huh? It's perfect. Somehow Krishna got you here.
Yeah. It was
Nice. Thank you. Okay, so I think we will we can break the offering and we'll have Artik with kirtan. We'll stand and get a little blood in the legs and head, and then we'll finish with Nishinga Pranam and Prasad.
Thank you, Mataji.